to look at the story about, or not really a story, the question. We're going to move on with our questions. And this week is, how can we be saved? Okay, so we're going to use this little story to illustrate this to you. Okay, so we need to think or imagine that once upon a time there was a beautiful garden filled with lots of trees and a lovely little stream running through it, and all the animals were very, very happy. One day, though, they woke up in the morning and were going on their way down to the stream to get a little drink. Oh dear, they came across a huge wall which had been put across their garden. So they gathered everybody together so that they could have a bit of a meeting. So all the animals came together and they were chatting and trying to decide how they were going to get either over or around or under or through this wall down to the stream on the other side. So they were talking for a little while, and then Mr. Elephant, Mr. Rhino said, "Oh, don't worry everybody, we are so strong, we'll be able to push this wall down. Give us a little bit of space." So Mr. Rhino came along, he got all ready with his big horn, and he came charging at the wall. Oh dear, it didn't move. He couldn't budge it. He dug his horn in and he tried again, but nothing happened. He couldn't move the wall. So Mr. Elephant thought, okay, well, maybe I'll be able to move the wall. So he got all ready, and again he came and he pushed and he pushed and he tried different places, but nothing. He couldn't move this wall either. He said to everyone, "Sorry guys, this wall is too strong." And then the little snake came up to everybody and he said, "Don't be silly. This wall is easy. I'll just slither underneath." And so he found a little hole and disappeared underneath for a while. Everyone thought, oh, maybe he's going to manage, and they could see him trying to get in the hole. After a while he came out tired and he said, "There's no way under this wall. It's impossible." Laughed the little monkey. He said, "You guys are silly. This is easy to climb. Just watch." So up he went from piece to piece, and he just kept going until he was out of sight. And they waited and they waited. After a little while, down came Mr. Monkey and he said, "Oh guys, sorry. This wall is too high. There is no ways you can climb it." Then Mr. Lion came along and he said, "Don't worry, I'll just roar and it'll fall down like the walls." And so he gave a huge roar and he expected it to crumble. Tried again. Nothing. So he also stood down and he thought, oh dear, maybe my roar is not good enough. Then a voice came from the top. "Well, I'll have a look. My legs are nice and long. I'll just walk around it." So off he set, Mr. Giraffe, all the way. The animals waited and waited and waited. The sun was nearly going down. Mr. Giraffe started coming back and he said to everyone, "There is no ways round this wall. It just doesn't end." They were all sitting and they thought, what are we going to do? Then Mr. Eagle flew over and he said, "Oh, I'll see if I can get over. So he started flying up and he disappeared to the clouds. They couldn't see him anymore. Then he came back round, and then he spotted something. And he said, you know what, guys? I can see some words on the top of this wall. Can anyone else see it? And they all sort of looked and they looked. They could see the word
Sin.
sin. That's right. The eagle was able to see, and he came back down and he said to the animals, there is only one way we are going to get either through this wall or around it or over it. There is no way we can do it by ourselves. So the animals thought, oh, okay. Let's have a look and see what our answer is. Sharae, can you turn to Ephesians? Ephesians chapter 2. Right. So the animals were thinking they would be able to do something, that they could get over this wall, about how good they are, or how some sort of skill that they could do to save themselves. They needed to get to water, but they couldn't do it on their own strength. What do you think are some of the ways that we think we can save ourselves? Ephesians chapter 2. Before we read it, for example, do you think going to church is going to get you over that wall? No. What about if you're really good and do everything very well and are kind and helpful and generous and loving? Not really. That's not going to save us, is it? Is it? Okay. Let's read from Ephesians chapter 2, verses 8 and 9.
For it is by grace you have been saved, through faith, and this is not from yourselves, it is the gift of God, not by works, so that no one can boast.
Okay, all right. So, God's grace has saved you because of your faith in Christ. Your salvation, we can't get over this wall by anything that we can do. All right, it is not from us. There's only one way. How are we going to get through this wall?
By grace.
God's grace has saved you through faith. Okay, it is only when we believe in the cross of what Jesus did for us. Only when we believe in Christ are we able to give all our sin to Jesus. We are able to get to the stream on the other side, and that stream is Jesus. That is his living water, but we can't get there because sin separates us from God. So we're on this side like the animals, and God is on the other, and the only way we can get through this wall is through believing in Jesus. Okay, it is not something we can do, doesn't matter how good we are, all those different things. Yes, they might be important, but they're not going to get us over or around this wall. Only Christ, as the eagle said, when he saw that it was sin, he knew that there was only one way for us to get through this wall. Okay, Jesus had paid that price, hadn't he? Yes. Okay. So, what is the only way we're going to get through this wall of sin? Faith in Jesus. Hey, okay, absolutely. Well